Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to help you decide whether you should be getting a big mouse or a small mouse for your gaming setup. Let's get into it. Before we start, I did want to point out that I am using a HyperX Fury mousepad to do testing for both of the mice. Also, before we get started, I did want to point out my hands are about 18 centimeters in length and 9 centimeters in width. Also, before we get started, I did want to point out that I am using lizard grips on both of these mice, but on the MM711, I did decide to put them on the triggers of the mice, as you can see right here, as opposed to the Model D. The first mouse that we will be looking at is the Model D by Glorious. As you can see, this mouse is in the big category, and the dimensions for this mouse are 128 millimeters for the length, running from the top to the bottom, and as far as the width from right to left, it is 63 millimeters, and for height from top of the mouse to the bottom of the mouse, it is approximately 42 millimeters, and those measurements were taken by Glorious, and they are also on their website, and it also comes in with the mouse. So now we're going to be looking at what makes this a big mouse. First of all, besides the measurements, I would say it's just how it fits in your hand, I would say. Now, this might be big for some, but it is still lightweight, weighing in only 68 grams. It also does have PTFE feet, as we can see. And I'd say that this mouse is more suited for palm or a palm claw hybrid. As you can see right here, this is the palm claw hybrid, and this is just palm, which is when your hand lays completely flat on the mouse. So now let's go look at the Cooler Master MM711. Now this is the Cooler Master MM711, and as we can see, it is a smaller mouse with dimensions of length from top to bottom running about 116 millimeters. From width from right to left, it is coming at about 62 millimeters. And from height from bottom to top, it is coming in about 39 millimeters. So let's discuss what makes this a small mouse, compared to a big mouse. So it has an ambidextrous shape, as we can see here. So that means that the mouse is identical on both sides as opposed to the ergonomic shape. But I will say that this mouse is more for right-handed use, as it does have buttons on the left side. Also, this mouse might be a little too small for some users, but it does come at a good price, and that is the weight. This mouse only weighs about 60 grams, and I think that is absolutely insane. It also does have PTFE feet, and I would say that this mouse is more suited for a claw grip. As you can see, I can palm it, but it does become uncomfortable as it doesn't have the same curves or shapes as the Model D does. So now that we've talked about both categories of mice and these mice actually individually, I think we need to discuss which one I would recommend for who. So first we're going to be starting with the Model D, which I would categorize as the big mouse here. And I'm going to recommend this mouse for people who use palm grip and palm claw grip. Now, this mouse, as you can see, it fits on my hand like a glove. I had no issues with this mouse after long periods of time, and overall it's a great mouse. Now, I'm going to move over to the small category, which is the Cooler Master MM711. And as you can see, I'm going to recommend this mouse for people who are looking to get amazing accuracy, because a small mouse you are always going to have more control over than this big mouse. No matter how comfortable this is, you are always going to have more control with this mouse. Now, as you can see, I would recommend this mouse for people who use this in a claw style grip. I wouldn't really recommend a fingertip grip. As you can see, it's probably going to get really uncomfortable over time. But I am going to say that the only reason I would get a smaller mouse, if you have average size hands to big hands, would say for accuracy, as opposed to a big mouse, because a big mouse is going to be a lot harder to move as opposed to a small mouse. Now, the weight of both of these is great. They're both within 8 grams of each other, the Model D weighing more than the MM711. But at the end of the day, I think it's just personal preference, and you should get what makes you comfortable. So now that we've seen both categories of mice, I'm going to leave the decision up to you. And at the end of the day, as I said, it's personal preference. But personally for me, I do enjoy having a bigger mouse. Although I do lose some accuracy, it is nice to have the comfort at the end of the day. But if you're someone who's all about being really into the game and you want to have the edge over everyone, a smaller mouse is always going to win over a bigger mouse, no matter how comfortable it is. So I am going to be leaving a link in the description to both of these mice, the Model D by Glorious and the Cooler Master MM7. I'm also going to be leaving a link to all my social media and my Twitch if you want to ask questions about both of these mice while I'm streaming. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.